Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Steffy Forrester went too far this time on The Bold and the Beautiful. Steffy Forrester is thrilled that her plan to destroy Carter Walton and Hope Logan is going so well on The Bold and the Beautiful. The former Forrester Creations CEO brought in Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, to seduce Hope's man, and the plan appears to be falling into place. But what will Dr. John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, think when he learns what his wife has been up to? Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on B&B. Dr. Finn has a full plate on Bold and the Beautiful right now, and just learned that his cousin Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, is actually his daughter. He's in full-blown crisis mode right now and needs his wife, Steffy's support. Spoilers say Steffy will be too preoccupied with her shenanigans at Forrester Creations, and it will cause a rift in their relationship. When Finn finds out that the real reason his wife hasn't been there for him, Queen Steffy is going to have some explaining to do. According to B&B spoilers, Daphne Rose will seduce Carter Walton, Lawrence Street Victor, this week on the. There's a good chance that Finn will overhear his wife and Daphne talking about their controversial revenge plot, and will be horrified that Steffy sunk that low. Was Hope Logan right about his wife all along? Finn has always tried to do the right thing and stay loyal to Queen Steffy in the process. But he will be genuinely bothered by the fact that Steffy hired someone to sleep with Hope Logan's Annika Noel boyfriend. Plus, there's also those pesky rumors that Daphne is actually drugging Carter with the perfumes she has him sniffing. This might be one thing he can't get past. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say that Dr. Finn will realize his wife is not as innocent as he thought, and there could actually be something to everything Hope Logan was saying his wife has done to her in the past. Steffy Forrester has always been a force to be reckoned with on The Bold and the Beautiful. From her early days as the rebellious teen to becoming a powerful businesswoman and mother, Steffy has never been afraid to fight for what she wants. But recently, she crossed a line that left many fans and characters in the world of The Bold and the Beautiful asking, did Steffy go too far this time? It all started innocently enough. Steffy was dealing with her usual struggles, balancing her role at Forrester Creations, raising her children, and trying to keep her family together after a series of painful betrayals. She had just gotten past the emotional turmoil of her marriage to Liam Spencer and was dealing with the fallout from her complicated relationship with Finn. But in true Steffy fashion, she found herself once again in the eye of a storm she seemed to have stirred up herself. This time, it wasn't about her personal life, but about her business dealings. Steffy, as the head of Forrester Creations, has always been a savvy and ambitious leader. She knew what it took to stay ahead in the competitive fashion world. However, her recent decisions raised eyebrows, not just within the company, but among her family members as well. Steffy's decision to take the reins at Forrester and sideline her own family was shocking. It wasn't that she didn't deserve to lead or wasn't capable of running the company. She certainly was. The problem was how she went about it. In her typical determined fashion, Steffy made calculated moves, positioning herself as the only logical choice to steer the company's future. But the way she cut others out, especially her own brother, Ridge, was a betrayal that stung deeply. It was clear that Steffy wanted to prove that she could do it on her own. Yet in the process, she alienated her family, and it seemed like she had forgotten the value of unity and collaboration. What made matters worse was Steffy's recent decision to manipulate the situation with Hope Logan, all in the name of advancing Forrester Creations' interests. Hope, who had already been dealing with her own drama, found herself caught in Steffy's web of manipulation. Steffy's constant undermining of Hope's position at Forrester wasn't just bad business, it was personal. The two women had shared a fragile truce over the years, but Steffy's latest maneuvers to take control of the company pushed them to a breaking point. What made Steffi's actions particularly alarming was how calculated and ruthless she had become. It wasn't enough for her to simply succeed. Steffi wanted to dominate and assert her power. Her tactics, while effective, lacked the compassion and empathy that once defined her. When she started using her position to dictate terms to others, she had crossed into a dangerous territory, one where her thirst for power began to overshadow her sense of just about business anymore. Steffi was also losing herself in the personal aspects of her life. Her need to win at all costs started to consume her relationships. The tension between her and Finn became unbearable. Once they had been the picture of happiness, but now their connection felt fractured. Finn, who had always supported Steffi, grew more distant as he saw the woman he loved change before his eyes. It wasn't just her actions at work, it was the way Steffi started pushing Finn away, too, all for the sake of her ambition. Her relationship with Liam also continued to unravel, not just because of their shared history, but because Steffi's need to control and dominate every situation left no room for compromise. While it's true that Steffi had a right to fight for her family and her business, her overbearing approach was causing cracks in the relationships she once held dear. Steffi's pursuit of power and success led her to make decisions that no longer reflected the woman she once was. She lost sight of her values, and her once sharp moral compass began to waver. The line between right and wrong became blurry for Steffi, and she started justifying her actions as necessary sacrifices. But in doing so, she became a person who was willing to hurt those around her in order to get ahead. Fans were stunned by Steffi's descent into this version of herself. What happened to the Steffi who fought for what was right, who cared about her family and loved ones? The woman they once admired seemed to vanish into a cold, calculating businesswoman who would stop at nothing to win. Her actions were no longer just about her personal life, they began to affect everyone around her. Steffi had lost her humanity, replacing it with a desire for power that made her blind to the pain she was causing. Even her most loyal supporters began to question her motives. Was this the same Steffi they had once rooted for? The woman who had been betrayed so many times but had always come out stronger, wiser, and more compassionate? Now, Steffi was willing to sacrifice anyone in her path to get ahead, and that included her family and friends. By the time Steffi made her final move to solidify her control over Forrester Creations, it was too late for redemption. Her actions had alienated those she loved most, and it seemed like there was no turning back. The consequences of her decisions were inevitable. Her family, once close-knit, was now in shambles. The Forrester empire, which had been built on trust and collaboration, was on the verge of collapse. And Steffi, who had once been a beacon of strength and resilience, found herself isolated, without anyone left to turn to. As Steffi stood at the top of her tower, looking down on the chaos she had caused, she realized just how far she had gone. The ambition that had driven her to the top had also led her to lose everything she had once held dear. It was a sobering realization, and Steffi was left to wonder, had she really won, or had she destroyed everything that mattered in the process? Steffi's downfall was a tragic reminder that sometimes the pursuit of power can come at a steep price. What started as a determined, ambitious woman striving for success had turned into a cautionary tale of what can happen when you go too far. And for Steffy Forrester, this time, it wasn't just a loss of business, it was a loss of herself.